Hey everyone, Luke here, and yeah, it has been a really hot minute since I've last talked, since I've last been on YouTube doing reviews for Witch Watch, but I'm back, ready to go. Hope everyone had a good break week and a good bank holiday for May and everything. But yeah, so from what I'm gathering from the chapters now, it seems like we're gonna alternate between okay, this chapter we're gonna focus on this fight, this chapter we're gonna focus on that fight, because last time we had Maverick versus Mirio, and now we're cutting over to find out what's going on with Khan versus Story and his manager. So yeah, this will be chapter 244, titled Bone Crisis Part 13, and obviously we got Part 14, and seriously, at this point, I don't know how long. Over a month's time, if this keeps going on, we're gonna be this is gonna be just as long, if not longer, than Day of Disaster. So yeah, like I said, we're cutting back over to see what's going on with the fight between Khan and Dory, as we see them just literally going at each other. We see them doing punches, doing flips, doing kicks. Khan even brings down one of his weapons on Dory's head, and Dory, for one reason, for what I can understand here, is that he does this kind of movement here with his hands. So you get two arms coming at the same time. But as we see Momo trying to defend Khan here, Khan gets the upper hand for giving a swift kick to Dory and it being able to punch back. So they're kind of evenly matched here. I feel like Momo said, okay, Dory is going to be infinitely stronger than Khan, so I have to do just as much as I can to protect him, give him boosts, give him start his elements. And yeah, as the fight dies down for a moment, we have Khan going over to Momo and saying oh, you've lost way too much weight already anymore, and you could seriously hurt yourself in this fight. But Momo reassures him no, it's all right, Khan, I'm still okay. And Khan even disagrees with this point, no, you've done plenty enough, so go and find yourself a place to hide. I'm gonna deal with this from now on. And even though Momo is saying she has one more in her, I can tell just from looking at her, oh no, she is clearly out of breath. She is really pushing herself at this moment, and I agree with Carl. Any more, and it would seriously be damaging to her. And yeah, there's not a lot going on. It's more of the same with the previous shot, just straight up fights, and it's hard to really talk about fights when it's no dialogue in the panels. But Khan is reassuring no, Momo, you just go and hide yourself. But Momo's no, I have one more of me. And Khan at this point just okay, fine, I got you. I understand you. Just let us go for it. So anyway, moving back to the fight, Khan says, "I tried, but I can't use transparency on you. I just tried it, and I overshot saw right through your guts. I figured I was about to puke again, but I didn't, because there's nothing inside. So this is the big reveal about Dory, what exactly Dory actually is. Which, okay, this makes up for Dory not being around too much throughout all of part 2. But at the same time, I would have loved if we got more hints about this. Okay, there's something going on with Dory. He's not a real person. We know he's a familiar warlock, whatever. But at the same time, so based on this chapter, it's I wish we got more hints. Okay, he's not fully human in the same way that someone I don't know, Kamugi or Shikimia would be. Even though they're witches, warlocks, they still have autonomy in them, organs in them. I really wish for someone like Dory there would have been more hints of okay, this guy maybe it's if we had a moment where it's okay, he was shot through the heart, and yet there's no blood coming out. That would be a key clue of okay, yeah, there is something going on with Dory, or at the same time a big a big gun blast and only a little bit of blood comes out of Dory. That would have been something like, okay, yeah, that really should have done more damage than him, like, realistically. And then we cut to the show, like, oh, that's why it didn't do so much damage. I really wish we had a moment like that, but hey ho, what can you do? This is what we're getting at here. Yeah. So Dory doesn't have any guts in him. You've got meat and bones and fat, but no organs. You ate no real living human. So, and Dory, and I feel like Khan is expecting Dory to have like some kind of like shocked reaction here, but Dory's just like. And, like, he's like, yeah, I know I don't have those things. Like, what's your point here? So after Dory says, yeah, I know about this, so what's your point? Khan brings up, like, oh, you're nothing more than a puppet, and the warlock behind you is the one pulling your strings. And, yeah, in one of the most badass moments in the series, we see Momo charging up her magic. Khan goes right for the manager and literally just slices her head up, like, just clean cut, boom, like, blink and you miss it, like, damn, Khan, that was pretty hardcore. But as it turns out, this manager that he cut the head off was nothing more than another puppet. As we see a head just kind of like, where the head of the puppet manager that Khan's cut off used to be, we see just like this grotesque, like, faceless form with just teeth just like coming out like a turtle, like, you know how like when a turtle pulls its head out of its shell, kind of like what's going on here. It's like, okay, yeah, that's a little bit creepy. As the manager starts speaking and saying, I knew being around in person was risky. I traded places with my doppelganger doll a minute ago when you weren't looking. You guessed right, I'm the puppet warlock. So yeah, pretty much makes sense for her. Like, she's a manager, she's behind the scenes, like a character that would pull the strings. Makes sense for her to be the puppet warlock. I'm not complaining about that. Really good situation here where they've like, okay, Dory is the one that's being manipulated by, like, obviously puppet warlock. So we get some insight into the magic, and it is really freaking what she goes on about here. As Khan says, a puppeteer, so you can control, not create human dolls. Like, wow. That is insane. Like, so she's not more of like a puppet warlock, more like a creator warlock in a sense. But I guess puppet works. She goes on and says, yes, yes, with the right materials, I can create dolls that look like real humans. I can make them act like them too. Skin, muscle, eyeballs. I can mold and shape them how I please, down to the cellular level. So, wow. Well, that just begs the question: how many of these puppets are actually out there? Because she says here, like, I only brought Dory and my doppelganger with me on the ship, but I have 77 dolls at my house, my lovely pets here. Yeah, she says at a house, but how do we know, like, others out there are just puppets? Like, oh my god. How insane of a twist would this be if it turned out Shakimia was a puppet warlock himself, was a puppet of the puppet warlock himself, and like she's the true one behind it? How insane would that actually be? Because from this revelation, like, anyone in the series could be a puppet under her control. Just wait to be sprung at any moment. Like, you just don't know it. That, like, all the kids in the class in the class that the main characters are, like, the teacher, the student that do the manga, like, they could seriously all be puppets, like, and we wouldn't even know this. But wow, that is just insane to theorize, like, who could actually be a puppet under the puppet warlock's control. Although I guess this would have been kind of funny if they called it the control warlock, and it would have been like, oh great, Chainsaw Man's just ended, had one of the most mediocre endings ever. Let's just try and remind people of that by giving the control warlock, like, control warlock is be control devil. But all jokes aside, that would be seriously insane to think about right now. Like, oh, who's a puppet under the puppet warlock's control that's not that's out there just waiting to be sprung at any moment. So the manager goes on, continuing to say, I built Dory specifically for our plan to curse the nation. I thought his name might tip you off, but I guess it didn't. Yeah, because everyone always assumed like, oh, it was Dory, it was Dory, always going to be Dory, but it turns out like, no, his name isn't Dory, it's Dolly. So this is where Khan theorized like everything he has ever done, he was really you just acting somewhere off screen, and that sad backstory you told me must have been a pack of lies. You're one of a hell of an actor. Before we come back to seeing various moments from part 2 of Dory and Charmy, of the Dory and Charmy chapters, and this just makes it all the more like if you go back and read those chapters right now, knowing that Dory is just a puppet, it's just a doll under the control of the puppet warlock, it makes it a little bit more impactful now, because you know, like, oh, everything Dory says here, every bit of advice or helpful nature he gives to Charmy is all just a facade, and just really like just a ploy to lead up to this moment in part 3. So the manager goes on and says like, oh, I used to be a theatre actor, an amazing one or two with natural acting skills and scriptwriting talent. Everyone had high hope for me. And yeah, this is what happens when you put people on a pedestal, and then somebody else comes along. That's better than them. Yeah, this just turns someone completely off the rails, as it does with the manager here, where she gets jealous of a rival who was jealous of her, and yeah, seeing how jealous, like literally just spraying. I don't know what it is, like, is it tea or coffee? Because it just seems, like, you see a flashback of, like, the rival just spraying something in the manager's eye, and it's scorching her eyes. So I assume, like, it's, like, really hot tea or hot coffee that they threw in her face. And yeah, she goes really crazy right now, saying, she stole my life. If you aren't good enough, then back off, go find a ditch to die in. Don't get in my way of true talent. Like, just basically being like, I was talented, then this person comes along, ruins my life, so now I'm going to ruin everyone else's life as a result of it. And yeah, what happened to her sucks. Like, she got that scar, like burning scar, but at the same time, like, at the same time, that doesn't excuse her actions for manipulating people and basically joining people that are gonna turn people that are not going to be themselves anymore into minus for the resurrection of Juro, of Hoatafista. And she says, when Hoatafita returns, I'm going to make that true for the whole world. The talent will rule, loading it over the incompetent masses. Starting to sound a little bit like Dr. Senno from Dr. Stone here. Like, if we go back to Stone Ruled, I'm going to rule as a dictator and rule over the incompetent masses here. And yeah, it's really only going to be a case of like, the talented based on what you describe, what your high expectations are. Because you can just imagine, like, with a world like that, when someone has been like praised all like, oh, I'm exceptionally talented, natural skills, scriptwriting talents, everyone has high hopes for them. Like, you can just imagine someone with that power to rule the world would be like, nope, you are basically just rejecting everyone, even people that have really natural talent. She'd probably just be like, no, I can't have someone that's more talented than me. Out of here. So yeah, I can just imagine like what kind of world that would be if the manager had her way. So as the manager finishes off, she sees that Khan is really out of breath at this moment, as she says, but first, stop this, Kanshi Matsuri. You're too hurt to continue. Surrender. Don't try to say that you're fine. I know everything about you. Personality, fighting style, stamina, and if I can take that away, and if I can take away your ability, I win. And yeah, that was her big mistake there, saying, I know everything about you, because, oh boy, you may know everything about someone, but they're always going to have one more trick up their sleeve. Like, this shows the side of her arrogance and overestimation of people. Never or underestimation of people. Never underestimate people, because no matter how much you know about them, they're always going to have a backup for a backup for a backup. I know this more than any of us. Like, so that's why I'm like, okay, never underestimate someone. Like, there's always going to be something going on behind the scenes with them. So yeah, again, biggest mistake always happens, underestimating your opponent. As Khan says, like, oh, nah, you don't know me. You don't know me at all. Like, yeah, she does not know everything about all of them. As they were like, oh, then die. And you see the doll probably has the same voice as the manager. So yeah, the doll and the real manager go, oh, then die. As Khan analyzes the situation, it's like, go after Dora directly, and the dolls will protect her. I've got to take Dory out first, but I'm in bad shape. Dory's faster than me. Like, he's going over the ice. Like, okay, Dory's faster than me. He's got way more hands than me, and to top it off, he regenerates any damage. It's like he's an invisible battle doll. And yeah, that is something that will be tough to beat. Like, he's got more hands than you, more speed than you, and plus he can regenerate. So like, it's pretty damn hard to beat someone like that. So you're gonna have to use like sneaky tactics, find out like, okay, where is like an obvious weak spot that I can exploit here. As Khan continues on his analysis, saying, the thing is though, he doesn't hit that hard. He's got more arms, but they're only half the normal size. That means he cannot increase his mass unless she sticks more materials on him. So yeah, kind of like a really obvious exploit weakness here. Like, yeah, more, in order to keep these dolls going, like, she needs, like, raw materials, and if she doesn't have them, then the dolls are basically useless. So it's kind of like in a game where it's like, okay, you have all your inventory here, and okay, if you just keep okay, they're gonna be fine if you just keep spanning. Like, for example, I'll just use Pokemon for example. Like, okay, you have like about 20 max revives on them, but like, so you keep the battle going, just max revive, but what happens when the max revives run out? Then you're pretty much screwed at that point. So it's kind of the same thing here. Like, okay, as long as she has the materials that she can use to keep helping Dory come back, then Dory's fine. But what happens when she runs out of materials? So yeah, that is an obvious weak spot that Khan is exploited here. And he goes on and says, his weak spots doesn't have any. I do see bits of his body lying around. Were they too small or scattered too far to regenerate? If so, then I could blast him up close, shatter big chunks of him. No, I won't get an opening for that. But no, it is a sound strategy. Just get up close, just splatter him. All his bits go around, making it really impossible for them to kind of like come back into a clump together and regenerate his body, unless the manager does use some, like, oh, I'm going to use some raw materials every cellular level, bring back Dory. But at this point, it'll probably be really hard for that to come by. As Khan says, so I've got to find a way to make one. As he signals to Momo, saying, one more time, real short distance, faint point blank. And yeah, Momo instantly knows, like, okay, no, I understand his plan, I know what's going on here, I've got it. As we see Khan charging towards Dory, and Dory thinks like, this is a one-trick pony strategy, like, this is really pathetic of you. But Khan says, yeah, I did things the stupid way, the slow way, training hard one day at a time. As we see the battle continue to escalate, and Dory gets a little bit shocked here. Like, he's like, wait, what's going on here? What's going on here? Another teleport. As we see Khan just like really dodging each of Dory's attacks here. And Dory's like, is that all you can manage here? But we see the cracks on Dory's face starting to go. Like, Dory's getting so focused on the fight, like he's not even noticed like the serious cracks that are coming on his face. Oh no, he did have the cracks on his face. Like, did he have the? No, because you see the panel when Khan is analyzing Dory here, and you see him without very many cracks on his face. But then the next page, you see the cracks just starting to like escalate on him. So, and Dory's not even noticing this. And Khan goes on and says, you don't know a thing, we prepared for this, devised our own hand signs, practice new techniques. As we get a flashback of Mohit saying, of course not, Khan is a formidable fighter, and as he says, strengthen our bonds. And Khan reiterates to him, yeah, you don't get it, you don't know the first thing about us. as he uses a technique called On Pa La Pai La Ken Pai La Ken So Wakan, and literally just uses a I don't know how to describe this, like just like Kamehameha, like destructor bubble, like blast, just like right up in Doi's face, like really close up, like just this blast of energy just comes to Doi, really crashes at him and obliterates, starts to obliterate Doi, and that's where the chapter ends. So really good, really intense chapter there. We've got to learn about the pub manager being the pub warlock, her background, why she's doing what she's doing, even though it's a little bit petty when you think about it, and how much of a detriment that would be for the world if she really did have her control. Now, obviously, I've read that chapter, so I know we're going to be moving back to another fight here. But at the same time, I feel like these fights are just going way too quickly, way too easily for the characters. So something is going to go wrong. Like, this is not the end for them. Like, this is like probably like round one for them, and then they've got to contend with round two of like the characters like, oh, you think this was over, but now we're going to get back into the fray. We're all fresh. We've used our max of fives for lack of a better word, But after chapter 245, what happens in chapter 246 beyond is beyond me at this point. It's just a guessing game, and that's something we're just gonna have to wait and see. But anyway, guys, what did you think of this chapter? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And this has been Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.